There we go. Sunday, it's another podcast.
Man,
I feel like a spy with my hat, but the hat stays on.
it's a bit hard to consistency is hard. Let's just say.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Um,
But yeah, like
oh,
one moment I was like, you know what? Let's just do this.
and there are a lot of things to talk about this week
Fair,
too.
fair.
So you have to give the audience what they want, which is more
Which is
more
literally
podcasts.
more podcasts, more takes. And the funny thing is, like, I actually watched the highlights for the hockey game
Man,
today.
hockey game, Canada, we're really not
Oh man.
living up to any expectations right now. In
I don't know
that,
if it's because it's too cold. We can't do Winter Olympics properly, or Winter
if any
Olympics.
country understands cold and winter and winter sports, it should be Canada, no?
Like crazy. But I mean, like both the women's and the men's hockey game finals. Like I feel like we played a good game. There were for the men's hockey. There were a lot of
Yeah.
there were a lot of open chances, and it was just like one overtime. I'm like It's crazy because the women were playing really well throughout the tournament, I believe, but the men were a bit shaky. But the final was a good game.
Hey, winners win, winners win,
No
and
excuses, man.
Canada needs to step up in the Olympics. Like we're still 11th. How is Norway with 18 gold medals?
They
Like
should, they
that
should
that
be
has to be a record.
like even like Norway, Italy, like I'm seeing Japan, I'm seeing like people that are above us on the medal rankings. The curling team they won though, even after all the
Okay, well,
allegations.
I mean,
After all the allegations, like
yeah,
it's like if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I guess winners win. We won curling,
Oh
the
man,
most
yeah.
exciting sports
The
in all
funny
of
thing
history.
apparently like Canada has not won curling in Winter Olympics for decades or like 20 years.
Interesting.
Which is interesting, yeah. Like so, it was against Great Britain that we finally won. So, and anyways, the Winter Olympics, the main sport we were all bragging on was
Was
hockey,
hockey? Oh boy,
and hockey literally is both silver medals.
silver. We'll take the wins where we can. We'll take the wins where we can. Couple of things that we want to talk about on today's podcast. Alberta referendums.
A better referendum. Are we going to touch on what's his name? The guy that just crossed also again.
Okay, let's see. I think we've spoken about enough crossings at this point. There should be a rule. Whenever there's a crossing, another by-election.
I don't think so, man. I don't
Because why
think
not?
so.
Like,
But the funny thing is, like, conservatives have always won that riding that he's moving. That's now
so that's
making
what
a
I'm
big
saying.
deal.
Like, let them do another by-election. Let's see if his constituency will be happy with him cross. Like, because what's the point? Like, you know, and we'll talk about it with the Alberta referendums. Because if now the the actual office that people vote for becomes now a selected position, because really he's no longer representing the interests of his people, it becomes like the Senate, and obviously Alberta is trying to abolish that because it's not
Actually,
elected
do you
office.
know? Actually, don't understand what the Senate really does, other than the bill has ascended from the House to the Senate.
So the House, people vote for the people in the House
Yeah.
that work on those bills. The Senate, nobody votes for them.
Yeah, they get appointed by the prime ministers and then they just
Exactly.
stay there for as long as possible.
So
But
now,
I'm saying, did they do any? Did they affect any of the policies really?
well, they could either strike it down or whatever.
I've never really heard
Okay,
this. Like I know,
it-
like sometimes senators can protest.
Well, I
like,
mean, there's
Canada.
questions as to if they're even a relevant office. But then, if now the House, where people have voted, is now also kind of being politicized in a way that wasn't voted for, it begins to mimic the Senate.
The only
Because
thing I
now,
don't like the floor crossing. One thing I don't like about it, although I like McCanny, but I just feel like the minority
is where he should be.
is where he should be. But I also didn't know, man.
The guy's trying to push his agenda, man. He needs a majority, and he's aggressively going after these floor.
Which is
For me, I'm like, if there's a floor crossing, immediate by-election. Like, it makes no sense. If they voted conservative in the riding, or if they voted liberal in the riding, or NDP or Bloc, whatever, and the person wants to now work under a different party, which means a whole different mandate, like completely different from what your riding voted for, immediate by-election.
then what would you say about the NDP liberal like arrangement that happened in Justin Trudeau's time? Do you mean that all the NDP guys go back to your
Immediate by-election. If
because-
if you go sign, if actually that's a good point. this is me being extreme, but I think if there's a floor crossing, immediate by election, and there's something to be said about if the liberals come into power with a minority government or whoever comes in and they don't
Yeah.
have the majority, if they go shake hands with another party and say, okay, we'll work together to achieve XYZ, I think there's room
To call for a general election.
to call for a general election.
At this rate, every 2 seconds.
Because that's just double dipping. Like, okay, you did not win the majority. So, but now you're gonna find the loophole. But anyway, that I think that's a bit extreme. My position there, but
Yeah.
for the floor crossings, immediate by election.
I personally don't mind the floor crossings, like in general. The only thing I'm still a bit iffy on is if I really want to see McCartney's true colors in the majority, because I feel like he's really good in this minority government. He's really good. Like the idea that he's playing a politic game that is no politics, like the appearance of no politics. Maybe
Yeah.
he's playing me literally, like just I'm not a politician. I don't know how to do any of these things.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like everybody's coming to you, signing deals left, right, and
Yeah,
center.
you see the authoritarian side when he has a
So
majority.
exactly, I'm not sure if when he gets a majority, it will start to look a bit like man, like
Start
I
with
have to
like Justin.
relax. I have to just be doing whatever I want for the caucus. But another thing I was not sure about too is McCartney trying to make the liberals conservative?
I don't think so. I think that's probably that might be his tactic or trick, whatever, to get these floor crossings in. Maybe I don't know, but I think the moment this guy gets a majority in the house, I think you will see the true colors of the fact that he was one of the major advisors to JT when he was in power. So for all JT's faults, McCartney had his ear. So we might see the authoritarian side come out more when he gets the majority, but who
Right
knows?
now, like I'm just the only reason I don't want the majority is like I think it's working. Like whatever we have right now, there's no need for a majority. I don't see any agenda that is hard to pass, especially on a national scale. Like you're able to sign memorandums with Alberta, you're able to get things going on in Ontario. These are very very conservative ridings, like and provinces. Like even the NDP BC is the one that you're finding ways to struggle with. A BC
Yeah,
is where you.
this is a tough
So
one.
I think like what he has now is fine, and you can try to get as many floor crossings, but trying to get a majority or trying to call for an election, and the conservatives are open to working with McCartney. The only thing that I do not know is if we get a situation where everyone in the liberal is now seen a bit more center right than left progressive.
I think that'll be a good thing for Canada because Canada is pretty left. If you just by default, even our conservatives are.
I mean, you didn't hear what Jamil was saying that we're throwing a hissy fit
Oh yeah,
for.
the anti-American rhetoric.
I'm
He also
anti.
got into trouble with the indigenous people with the comment he made
Literally,
there.
I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I'm still on McCartney's side till he starts to do like some power politics kind of behavior. That's the only thing I'm still a bit. I'm like, all right, McCartney, I see your agenda is resonating across party lines, and maybe you're having a hold on the Liberal Party and letting people know that look, in the Liberal Party there's a lot of centrists, there's a lot of folks that are pragmatic in their politics, and we can pull a bit of the blue guys over here. We can also keep the progressives contained all in one party. Maybe Pierre is not able to keep like a wide array of
Yeah,
views in one blue party.
yeah, he's pretty. He's a one-trick pony at this point. So,
But yeah, Daniel Smith is about to go for Pierre's position with this.
and Daniel Smith is politicking for sure. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, we'll talk about the Alberta referendums. There's also some noise about some changes to how dual citizens of Canada and the UK can travel between both countries. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then obviously July is coming up. Public sector workers are back in office.
Oh
You
man.
know, TBS acknowledged they have a shortage of workstations, which
I
is
would say
wild.
like right now Fridays are clear. They're truly clear. Like I
Yeah.
drove on Friday and I was like, is it
Yeah.
a holiday or something? Do all the government workers decide Fridays their day
Like
off?
Friday and Monday usually are the clear days. So that's
Boy.
about to change. It's about to be busy Monday to Friday on the highways. So um We also talk about the store in Toronto that got fined by the CFIA. They were trying to
Oh, they were trying to justify
capitalize
Canada.
on Canadian patriotism. So uh,
Yeah, I don't like the. Anyways, I have some thoughts on that, man, because they be touching my
we'll
feelings.
see. And then it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts about the changes to the OSAP program. And let me tell you, if you're interested in learning how to be a professional basket weaver, Ontario is not the place for you.
That's literally what dog food. Like the
So
food be thinking that everybody is like it's just at the Thanksgiving dining table and it's just you and you're a politician, man.
yeah, Doug Ford has zero filter in his mouth sometimes. So
A politician.
we'll talk about his basket weaving comment. And the other thing that happened was the defense industrial
Oh yeah,
strategy
I saw
got.
that mechanic came around like really big, like trying to get those
I
industry going.
have
See, he's doing
I
stuff.
have thoughts
He's
about
doing
it. Don't
stuff.
get excited too
He's doing
early.
stuff.
Don't get excited too early. And then if we have time, we'll talk about the expansion of the express entry program, how that ties in with the supposed reduction in immigration.
I mean, it also ties into the referendum
Yeah,
that
for
Alberta
Alberta.
was.
Yeah, yeah. All of that ties in. And then if we have time, we'll talk about the new 15% tariffs on non Kuzma goods. You know, the
Donald.
celebration of the Supreme Court's decision
Literally,
was very short lived.
like these people might be taking a textbook from some underdeveloped democracies,
Bruh.
like going to the Supreme Court and then going to the executive and then like everybody is just fighting for who has the power
Yeah,
when it comes to international, and this is international politics, not even like
yeah,
domestic
yeah.
politics.
Project 2025 is
And I'm so tired of all these folks, man. Like,
so here's my whole thing. Like, so all this talk about government. I think we spoke about this before. The smaller government can be, the better for the people.
probably, man. Like, it's just so complicated. Like, and yeah, not even jump the horse, but even in Canada, we also had like the bloc. We had the bloc and the Liberals go all the way to the Supreme Court on an
Yeah,
election result that
yeah,
was won
by one vote.
by one vote, and then the Supreme Court is telling everybody the Supreme Court is telling Elections Canada how to read
The ballot,
the
or yeah,
ballot.
yeah. It's wild. It's wild. You know, the government gets too big sometimes, and then they infiltrate every aspect of life. And then the easy what's it called, the how they dangle the cards. The card they dangle is this appearance of a charity. Like they try
Yeah.
to come, oh yeah, we're a charity. We have these benefits. We have these programs for you. Blah blah blah. Just let us increase and do this and do. Like, I'm sorry to tell you guys, the government is not a charity. A charity, you can withhold your donations if you don't like the causes that they're fighting for. You can decide not to give. The moment you decide not
Not
to
to pay, yeah, they're coming for your
donate your
job.
taxes, you're gonna end up in jail. So the government is more like a mafia.
The government is we.
No,
We,
no, no. I'm
we
not.
the
I'm not
people.
with the
We
anything.
the people
The
are the
government. The
government.
government is a mafia.
We the people are the government. We are saying we're contributing to this pot in
No, no, no.
taxes.
The government is a mafia. They take a slice of your pay. If you don't agree to take that slice, you
It's
end
like
up in jail.
you end up in jail, and then when you go and question them, they bring their
That's
guns.
it. Yeah.
Man, I watched The Godfather recently. That's how I just is like, you know, I could be your friend.
Be a
Yeah.
friend.
All I ask is like you just treat me right like a friend, and I treat you right like I'm protect you and make sure that you're
That's
all.
what. So I mean,
I mean,
you
shout out like rest in peace, like the Godfather, like the guy that acted the Godfather. I believe, yeah,
you just
he just
pass.
passed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I
I
saw
believe I
that.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, think about, like, so let's say you're so smart, you build a car, you manufacture a car, you learn how to drive the car. Government's like, no, 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 no. You don't drive in my city unless you get a license from me. You need to get a permit from me to
Then,
drive
yeah,
the car that you made.
yeah,
And then you know what? You pay us for protection in some cases, like BC. They have their own
yeah.
government
That's
called
also insurance.
insurance.
Visa
You pay
insurance.
us for insurance. You pay us for your license. You pay us for this. You pay us for that. If you,
Or you can't really build on this land. You have to come and apply on how
yeah,
you build on this land. And then if it's not really in line with what
it's
really
a real
what
mafia. If they
your
don't
risk.
like what you're doing, if your business is getting too big, they come for you, right? They send if you
I
auditors
mean,
to come for you.
I still think it's we the people, like what they say, the common people,
There's no
the
we the
house of the
people,
common
please.
people, like electing and doing all of these things.
Yeah, you elect and then they cross the floor and go fight for a different mandate. So what is the we the people?
The mandate is collectively as
You know,
Canada.
I'm glad you said we the people. Let's talk about Alberta. That is we the people.
Okay, what is Alberta? I don't know if
Why?
all the
So
Albertans know what
what?
Daniel Smith is trying
Daniel
to.
Smith is saying, since it's we the people, how about you guys, all the Albertans, come and decide on these 9 questions that are tied
Do you
to
know what I don't like about Daniel Smith?
immigration and sovereignty.
She knows what she's about to do. That there's a huge hole in the budget she's about to bring out. She knows literally there's a huge hole in the budget, which is like wild because um, we're in an economy where we're exporting more like of Alberta's natural resources.
Yeah,
Last year we were shouting, "Oh, Alberta has a surplus." Now,
the surplus has disappeared.
where did the surplus go? Who did we pay off with that surplus? Like, there were still tariffs last year.
Yeah.
There was still like the economic crisis last year.
I have two complaints about what Daniel Smith is doing. Well, 2 complaints or 2 asterisks, I should say. One, don't bite the hand that feeds you. If you're going to go all out with this so-called referendum for we the people, don't then hold out your hand for federal money. In like, just know that you have to be economically independent. You have
But
to.
she's doing what Quebec does. Quebec says we're independent, but we still need the federal money. We're an independent nation within a nation, but you still have to give us our health money. You still have to give us the immigration money. You still have to give us all the money that we need.
That's tough. You cannot be claiming some level of sovereignty and then. But anyway, that's the one thing. The second thing, a lot of the topics tied to immigration were specific to Canadian citizens and PRs. I'll say the one other category she should add. So yes, temporary residents. There are some things that she said. I'm like, yeah.
She said temporary residents are tourists. I'm like,
Well,
student workers. They're not
I know.
tourism. They're not enjoying the views. They're paying international school fees.
I don't even have an issue with that. I think the one I'll say is if you accept asylees into your province,
Okay,
they should also kind of fall in that bucket.
fair.
So as long as you've accepted them or they're in the process with the whole asylum program, then they should also fall in that bucket as opposed to them falling in the temporary resident bucket.
Does
But
Alberta
outside of that,
accept them, or is it the government that just pushes?
well, I mean, let's go through some of the things that she's trying
Alright.
to figure out. So they want increased control at the provincial level over immigration levels into the province.
All right. Yeah.
Right. They want only permanent residents and citizens to have access to Alberta funded programs. So healthcare.
Now I was just like, once she knows the where she wants to start having it. But literally, that's what the case is in most cases.
Yeah, she's then saying that temporary residents will still have an option to pay to access those services.
Yeah, but like I don't think that like as a temporary resident you have access. Even in Ontario, do you have
Now,
access?
there's a level of broad coverage that just covers anybody who is physically present in the
like
province.
you can go to the emergency room if you're sick or anything as a temporary resident, but you don't really like it's not like you have to pay like ridiculous sums of money if you're in the US as a temporary resident, right? Like even even citizens and PRs like they're getting screwed over healthcare. But in Canada, like Alberta's and Ontario and all of these places, the healthcare is not like weighed down by temporary residents. 5% of the population.
Yeah, 5%. Yeah, I mean, I think the angle it's not that she doesn't want those people to have access to services. She wants them to pay. It's going to be a revenue generating stream.
Okay.
For the province.
Basically, an inelastic demand. This revenue. How much?
Hey,
how much
if you want to come into Canada and you want to stay in Alberta,
how much would you pay for health?
But here's the thing: she's not forcing it down anybody's throats. It's a referendum. Albertans have an opportunity to say yes or no to these.
I should also point out, not the permanent residents have an opportunity to say.
Well, we'll get there. So temporary residents also have to reside in the province for at least 12 months before accepting or getting access to any social services. Right?
Not accurate, but I want the federal government to push for more like integration into the provinces, especially provinces that need population.
Yes.
And workforce.
Yes, so say 12 months, which I think is
12
fair.
12 months is reasonable.
It's
I won't say 2 years.
When I read the 9 questions, I did not see anything that was like,
no,
this is crazy.
I would say 2 years, but not for health, literally. There are other things that are like social programs that like you can social programs that you can find ways to get revenue from. Health is just really really tricky with inelastic demand, because what would happen
Medical
is
tourism.
you have medical tourism and you have people that are willing to pay the most to fund their access to health, which is
I think she's also kind of opening up the whole private public stream for healthcare as well. So that might help ease that concern you have.
okay.
But let's finish
But
going
like Doc
through the
Ford, you never pay with your credit card.
see Doug Ford.
All right, let's go through
Uh,
like what else. Like, okay, we have some
proof of
things to,
citizenship to vote in elections. What do you mean?
like. They don't
Yeah,
have. We already. That's what we do.
no how.
Elections Canada can, like, when you fill out your form to get your voter's card, I believe they also check the
He
IRCC
believe
database.
she wants to be sure. It sounds like, and I'm with her. I don't
You don't
trust. I
trust who
don't
is
trust
electing
the systems
the
in
system
play.
that is.
No, no, no.
Well, maybe that also, to be fair, the fact that the Supreme Court was against what Elections Canada did in the riding in Quebec, and
Yeah,
that basically dissolved the election there, probably tells me that somebody needs to make sure, somebody needs to supervise who is running our democracy in general.
could go back to our whole conversation about digital voting and non-digital.
Uh,
Like anyway, that's it. Oh,
having AI supervise democracy
yeah.
is gonna be a disaster.
So outside of her immigration questions, the four kind of sovereignty referendums that she have, those are the ones I'm just like, I can see where she's going with it, but I think she might be out to lunch on some of these things. So she wants the province to appoint judges, um, as
Okay,
opposed to
the
that
federal
appointment happening at the federal level.
level. Okay.
She wants to abolish the Senate, which, with her like 85% of the way, I think just a little bit tweaking in her messaging and
I,
yeah,
I, I think the judges aspect is good. There's some things that actually get appointed really randomly. Like even the Senate, the way the ration like
oh yeah, like
the places where the Senate folks
represent,
represent,
yeah, it's
it's
wild.
very
Yeah,
it's very
it's so imbalanced and it's a very archaic system, to
yeah.
be
Like
honest. But because like Alberta gets the short end of the stick in many
most of
ways,
the
most
bigger
of Western Canada they get the short
and
end
then
of the
you take
stick.
care
Yeah,
of Quebec.
yeah,
Quebec takes everything that they want, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
everybody's like, you know what? Let's have like
So I can see why she'd want to abolish the Senate. I think that might be all the way too extreme. There might be a middle ground to be had, but um, that's one of them. And then she wants to to have the option to opt out of federal programs, but also have the option, not option. She wants provincial law to supersede federal law in certain regards, which that's where I think she says to lose the plot. Those last two, where it's like, okay, well, now you're biting the hand that's feeding you, or two, you're asking for something that nobody's ever going to grant you. Like, why will provincial law supersede federal? Like, that just makes no sense in the hierarchy of things.
she really just wants to appease those people that want to go and join America right now.
It's possible. Maybe she just wants to have it there as some, okay, these are some cool statements, but then look at these other seven questions. Say yes to them, and then say no to these ones
Sometimes
that are
politicians
a bit
just
too
be
extreme.
doing like
Create the contrast. Create the contrast.
let me appease everybody so that I save my leadership here. I
Yeah.
get reelected and so on and so forth. But yeah, the superseding of federal laws, maybe in a few areas I probably would agree with that.
Yeah. Crime.
Crime is a
Yeah.
good one that I don't think federal law captures properly. Trying to address crime across the nation,
Yeah.
it's
That's
like you don't know what's happening. What is happening in BC with crime is different from what's happening in Ontario and
that is
Quebec.
true.
So crime is one of those things.
But
Maybe
it
like
is a federal duty to protect the citizens, though. So I think I think there's room for the province to layer on top of federal law as it relates to crime.
yeah, there's a place for the province to have a way to override the federal
Yeah.
law,
Yeah.
like bill reforms or things around like scheduling of like the prescription, like criminal drugs or felonies
Yeah.
and all of
Yeah.
those things.
That's true.
I think provinces, just the same way education is overridden by like on the
Yeah.
provincial level, like just because the families are different, the needs are different, the systems are different, the universities, the colleges,
Yeah.
and the
That's true. And talking about programs to opt out of, like, sometimes the feds come up with these ridiculous. The whole firearms buyback, like, it was such a broad stroke to appease the NDP, and then it's not really playing out how they intended it to play
To
out.
be honest, I don't think they want to even mention it. Now
Like,
it's all quiet. To be
well,
honest,
now it's quiet because no, it makes no sense. Like the provinces don't have the money to enact the program, like, and they're being forced to do things that even for some of them, like, well, we're a province with an avid hunting community. Why would we want to take the guns away
take
from
away
it?
the gun. Somebody's coming to this province ever again to do
You
any
know,
type of
like
tourism.
there's not, yeah, and then there's all these different things that the feds will do, and then just to win elections or to appease the US or Europe or something, and then the provinces are there like, are you serious? Like we're supposed to do that right now? Like, so once again, there is some sense to even her extreme questions on the referendums. What I personally like is the fact that she's not forcing it down anybody's throat. She's like, Albertans, come out and vote on these 9 topics. I think we
She's
need
not
more.
forcing
We
it
need
down
more of that.
anybody's throat,
We
but
need more of that
she's
across the country.
she's doing like like when you're calling like a
But
for all
what
the
is
people
she's
to
not?
run.
There's no carrot. She's not dangling any carrot. What is the carrot?
Carrots. Those
What are
last
the
two that you
carrots?
don't agree with are big carrots for a certain group of people to
Yeah,
create
but
commotion.
if that small fraction of people says yes to it, it's still not gonna pass.
I mean, the referendum will only pass like if there's a majority on each of whichever ones have a majority is what they'll try to send and get all the provinces to agree on because you can't really in
Yeah.
the federalism after it passes in Alberta you still have to get all
Yeah.
the provinces to sign up on that and then federal will also sign up.
She's putting in the work. I mean, that's the work of our
She's
politicians.
putting in the word. She's not putting in no work here.
What are you
Like
saying?
coming to vote is not work.
What? So
Setting up like telling people come and vote on this. When you vote on this, elect me next year, so I will carry this referendum.
she's putting in the work. As opposed to she just stays there, buys her time 4 years, makes everybody happy,
Fair.
appeases people, and then
What I would say is she's observing that there's some angst in the people of Alberta. Like there's division left, right, and center from
yeah,
US, how we should, how Alberta should interact with US, and how Daniel Smith is looking all friendly with Mark Carney. I mean, they're from the same province actually, so it makes sense.
it's kind of from
Yeah, he's
Alberta.
actually from Alberta, but he's riding on the pier.
So just like Pierre,
He's actually from Edmonton, I think.
because Pierre is also Alberta, riding in Carlton Place.
Carlton
So,
Place, although they kicked
yeah,
him out of Carlton
yeah,
Place,
it's
and
not.
now
He's not back
in
to
Alberta.
back to the motherland.
Yeah, like so, I think she's been a good like she's been a very like astute politician, knowing that there's some people in Alberta that just feel like they're one of the like industrious provinces on the west, doing a lot when it comes to the economy of Canada, providing all the generating a huge portion of the revenue
Yeah,
and just not
little
being
representation.
little representation and trying to do this whole seceding from Canada. So she's understanding that there's also the pragmatic side of the oil industry and the natural gas industry and just trying to push for they rely a lot on immigration, which is low key, but also don't want to get he doesn't want to get the baggage that comes with trying to
Yeah, be pro.
like bring a lot of labor force, which is what I'm saying. No, it doesn't work that way. If you're asking a lot of labor to come to your province, give them like good insurance. It's like telling somebody come and work for me, but I'm not going to give you any private insurance.
What do you like? I don't see it that way.
It does the reason Alberta's immigration has grown is because like a lot of people are being industrious, going to join the economy as it's growing, working in the
Yeah.
mine, working in the oil sands, working in all of these areas. And you can't really tell those people they're not tourists. They're the people that are giving you the
No,
revenue.
they're not tourists, but they are temporary residents.
Yeah, but they're giving you the revenue. The
But
revenue.
but they're temporary residents. When the work permit
I-
expires, they can go back to their country.
Yeah, but while the work permit is valid, at least I agree for what the social programs were trying to balance out and make sure that you're not paying everybody's social programs.
Yeah,
One, you can also force those employers to give them.
I think
healthcare.
it should be the duty of the employers to provide.
Like we should have the basic. You know how we have the basic run to emergency. You not
What was
be
this
bankrupt.
universal health
Yeah,
care?
what we have
Okay.
literally don't touch that one because I health is such a very very tricky. I don't use the clinic so often. I probably should because I don't know. I don't like going there.
Imagine like
The-
if you're a temporary resident
yeah,
and you're working as a nurse.
see,
Then
and you cannot
to
access.
earn your family, you have to pay to get those services.
Not pay.
No, you have to have.
Yeah.
They will have
Or a
insurance.
premium
Premium and then the code deductible and so on and so forth.
to wait How many hours?
Except you give them, hey, you know what? Your private company is paying for you. You're you're going to get faster healthcare,
Who is getting faster
like the
healthcare?
temporary
Who
residents.
is
Because right now
that
I'm
sounds like political suicide.
yeah, because right now I'm
So,
like
so here's the thing. Like, I don't think so. I don't think you should cut them off from the health, like Canadian healthcare. Like, you should not cut them off. I think the same way as if you get a super visa,
yeah.
you're coming in with health insurance, so you're gonna have access to all
Okay,
of those things.
okay. So basically, before you even start producing, one of the requirements to come,
Yeah,
you create. I can see that it might reduce the number of people come to Alberta, though, which
it
is
might, but the employers who need those people to come work will
might.
just pay that upfront cost. You
Okay, I
get
see
the
what you're saying.
insurance, they come in, like everything will just work smoothly, but it will reduce the bill that gets sent to
So you
Danielle
can
Smith at the end of the day.
see that Smith is just trying to run away from a budget that has a big negative in front of it. Albertans just get ready.
Yeah, and she's
We will
gonna have
get
to answer for having
you
a
have to
big deficit. Like
exactly.
that's
She
like
has
a
to answer, and the only reason I'm a bit skeptical because if there's a deficit, you might not want to start cranking up the cost of that health.
no, but
Or
she doesn't set the
she
cost
doesn't
of
get the
it, right?
cost.
So the
Okay,
insurance companies set the cost
okay,
of
okay, and
of
then you just come with an insurance that's covered, and
that's
then
it.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's, oh, let's cut them off from all these services. I think it's more, how do we protect the 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 services that are being paid for by the government for Albertans.
How about we also start looking at what is Albert? Actually, I'm curious to see what is happening in that budget. What is the
I
estimate
mean, it
like
has to be
trying to
released at
get
some
ahead
point.
of? What
It
is she
has to be
trying to get
released at
ahead
some
of?
point.
Because this is
I also wonder if like now school fees will also increase because
international school fees.
like yeah, because like your when you pay your school fees, it includes your insurance, which
Oh,
cover
that's
like
why we were
surgeries.
able to do that as students. You
Yeah,
can go to the
Yeah,
healthcare because
yeah,
yeah.
as an
yeah.
You
international
have
It
like
student,
includes
you
your
have a
insurance
card.
insurance. Yeah,
that covers like a lot of things, including like surgeries,
Yeah.
on top of like general like visit to the ER. So now it means that school will have to pay like a premium fee on
On
each
every
international
international
student, which means
student
that
and each
it will
international
also like
tourist student.
hey, like those who are willing to pay the.
Watch and see Doc Ford tell you, don't come and take us up for basket weaving.
Yeah, Doug Ford, man. Well, like here for me, the one thing I'm happy with is that Albertans have an opportunity to actually
So basically,
make
they can turn this down.
they can turn it down. Like nobody's forcing them to accept any of these things. They can go there and be like, yeah, Daniel Smith, you're cuckoo. No, 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 no. Nine no's, and everybody moves on.
but then like there's like the public opinion, yes, because like in the last I don't know how many years there has been like an amount like an increased population moving to
To
Alberta,
Alberta,
right?
I know a lot of
So
people
she would
there.
have seen like some stuff and all of that stuff. However, how realistic is it? Because like right now we have like laws and precedents
Yeah,
for everybody, right?
yeah.
Each province. To change that, that's like amending a whole constitution.
I see this is a political card. What she's going to do, you heard it here on this podcast. She's going to get this referendum. If any of these things pass, don't even hold your breath that it's getting into law,
Yeah, well,
because
yeah,
she will
there's a
go
lot
and
of
call
work
another
that needs to be done.
election to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, Alberta, I'm going to fight for this
Alberta
referendum."
has spoken. I am the person to get this done.
I'm
Once
the one
again,
to get
Albertans can decide to vote her out. Like for me, this
She's
is we the people. That's it. That's we the people. I want to see
she's
more
playing
of
like
that.
chess politics on 10 different levels here. Whoever's advising Daniel Smith should go and advise Pierre. That's what I'm saying. Because
Like I said, Danielle Smith is she's gonna be a formidable force for conservative politics in Canada, regardless of anybody's personal opinions of who she is and how like she just has the drive and the strategy apparently to just move things around and get things done.
she has killed 9 birds with one stone. Referendum.
Like, and it's not in an authoritarian way.
I mean, fair, but we'll see. We'll see how it
Yeah.
plays out.
So we'll see. I mean, this next story about the dual citizenship. I don't think it's a big. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Let me read out the gist of it. So, dual Canadian British citizens will be required to use a British or Irish passport to enter the UK starting February 25th. This new entry requirement, announced quietly last fall, has created confusion and frustration for many, including those with expired British passports or name discrepancies across documents, and they could face significant costs to rectify or to apply for passports and things like that. So,
Yeah, this one is also crazy because this is British Irish under the United Kingdom. We still have King Charles as our king in Canada. So
so Canada should
are we not
qualify
all
as
brothers and
Commonwealth.
sisters in King
Yeah, but
Charles?
so here's the thing. On the flip side, dual citizens coming into Canada have to use a Canadian passport. So Canada already
Oh,
has that requirement. Britain is just
maybe
have
trying to
they're
give
just
like
matching. It just
fair,
it's
fair, fair,
reciprocal.
fair, fair,
So
fair.
yes, it's catching people off guard. It wasn't properly announced. It wasn't properly advertised. But from a policy standpoint, they're just having a reciprocal
Yeah, I
position.
also think like it doesn't make sense because like it doesn't make sense to come with another passport into Britain because or United Kingdom because I believe every other passport has to apply for an
ETA,
ETA,
yeah,
so
that's valid
it's
for 2 years. So
almost
that's it. So it's like this is them saying like if you want to avoid the whole ETA thing, just use your British passport. But
for
it's
some people
actually
they're like my British passport.
yeah. So for some people, they have to go do the extra legwork to get. So I don't, I don't think it's much of a story beyond the confusion it's gonna create for people, but but yeah, like for those of us that don't have British passports, we have to get
See,
the ETA,
we get the ETA and then we travel.
but it's part of a big modernization that they have for their whole immigration system and whatnot
I know British like
to be more
in the
digital.
UK they have been doing a lot of immigration shuffling, also to also raise funds for from immigration.
UK immigration is expensive, man. Like
Because if you go out of EU, find a way to now make all the money from everybody that's trying to come into
yeah,
UK. But anyways, shout out to them. Like I wish I
yeah.
had all the passports that to allow me multiple. Right now, it's a Canada passport that gives me opens the doors
It
to a lot
opens
of
it up to a
places.
lot of places though, and the UK ETA thing it's valid for 2 years. So I mean,
Oh, okay. So you
yeah.
can
So if you
just
do it once, it's good for 2 years. So if
watch and
you
see how they bring that in. Valid for 1 year. Valid for one-time travel.
yeah,
More money for the
just
government.
more money for the government, cash grab. Like I said, smaller government, the smaller the better.
See what is this is basically saying is like as governments all over the world, yes, they act like mafias, but we are the ones that are creating this
You
government all
create
over
the
the
map.
world.
Nah, man, we're not creating Jack.
We're voting the
Because
market.
if you look at the what's it called, the comparison of elected government officials to unelected, it's a very wide gap.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're not creating anything. You elect a couple people, and the next thing you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, let me bring in all these 10,000s of people," and then
I
like,
mean,
what?
the floor crosser, they give him a special advisory role to. I'm like, dude, when did this role come out from? Like,
First of all, that guy said he was going to resign or retire or something, and
and then
then
say for
next
family
thing,
reasons. See, anyone that says for family reasons, just
there's
know,
no reasons. It's just a
know,
cop out.
just know something fishy over there, man. There's
Yeah.
no family. All your family has been seeing politics, making the money out of politics,
Now all of
and
a
now all of a
sudden,
sudden they want you to come back and resign from
yeah,
with no plans.
that's good. Talking about no plans, return to office. Like, what is going on here? Like, they've announced now July of this year, 4 days a week for most public servants, 5 days a week for executives. And then Treasury Board, who has made this announcement, has now acknowledged, well, there may not be enough workstations in some locations to accommodate all the returning staff. Not to mention, there was a whole plan to downsize the number of uh,
People are not
federal
quitting.
buildings that the government, like,
No, they were selling up for build homes. I was like, at Canada, we cannot build homes. You
our
have to.
strategies are conflicting.
Now, I was driving through downtown today. I realized there's something wrong with our home building plan, and it fully ties into this. It's like monopoly. There are only 10 homes, especially when it comes to downtown,
Yeah.
especially in order. There's no new home being built there. You can only buy one of those homes, destroy it, and rebuild it.
Yeah, as a high rise.
There's nothing else to. So it's very very limited in what people can build to use for residential. So when they brought that plan, hey, we're going to sell off some of our office space and convert it to apartments. I thought that was a good plan. Now you're trying to get everybody to come back. People are not going to quit. Guess why? Because life is expensive.
Life
There's
is
nothing
expensive.
else to do. There's no amount of package you give people that they'll quit because
Yeah,
there's
but
no
then are you
job.
holding them hostage? Like, what's the idea? Like, if you had a plan for them to work remotely, so you can sell off some of these buildings, why are you switching it now? And more importantly, why are you asking them to come back 4 and 5 days before you figure out the workstation situation? Like, in any functioning organization, you figure out all the dependencies.
They still have for 3 months. What I think is going to
Three
happen
months,
next thing they're going to do, they'll find some of these small businesses, coffee shops around downtown,
co-working spaces, which is just what like
and you will see high level government work from Starbucks.
wild. You see a DG there having an important conversation that's supposed to be, you know,
I think
like,
this should move government offices outside of downtown. That's probably the next thing. The,
that will raise some other challenges though.
like, but it at least moves people. Like it allows people to build things around. If you think about government offices, instead of them always being at the central location in Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, move them to some of these other rural, like establish the
Yeah,
government area. Like we know these people have moved to
true. They
outside of the
moved out of
downtown
town.
core.
Yeah,
Those folks that are out there will build government offices for you over there. We expand our government footprint. Also encourage businesses around there. Open up land for people to be. Use it as an opportunity to
stimulate the
create
economy.
more like hubs for entrepreneurship to work. Is but they really don't want to spend more money because government is trying to cut.
I'm like, bro, if they just sold a bunch of buildings now to go buy at today's market rate, like that's economics
Oh, like,
001.
you know,
Like it's like, do not do that.
the, the
Sell,
lobbyists inside the
sell,
government knew this was happening.
sell
Sell
low,
low,
buy
buy
high. Like
high.
what's the strategy? There's no.
Government is actually not good with money in some sense. In some sense, they're not good with money. But I hope Makani knows what. I think it's just to put more pressure
Want
on
people to
people to
quit.
quit.
So it's a workforce adjustment
It's a
strategy.
workforce adjustment strategy. The only thing Makani and his team are not putting people. There's nowhere to quit to.
Yeah, what are you quitting
You're
to?
not. There's no place to quit to. Like AI has taken up everybody's job. That if you're quitting, it's you're going
Yeah,
to be doing basket weaving.
yeah. You you got a giant dog for it and
You're going
weave
to be
some
doing
baskets.
basket weaving because like
Yeah, because
it's
the jobs are not there in the private sector unless you're a defense contractor or something. Like the jobs are just not there.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
what are you gonna tell the private sector that you're coming to help them with?
Tell them that you're coming to help them with some bureaucracy, like
Yes, like how can we increase the red tape in the private? Sorry, I know public servants don't always. Gonna get cancelled one day.
you might get cancelled in your house first. Let's just put it that way. But anyways, but yeah, like the return to work, I enjoyed my drive on Friday. I didn't even know where I was going to, and I
Yeah,
was so worried. I need to leave the house early.
yeah,
Ended up leaving the house like 8:30, and it was like the fastest
yeah.
drive to Canada I've ever done.
Nobody
Was.
on the road.
I called one of my friends that also work in the government. I was like, "Oh, can I come and drop off key? There might be hold up." He's like, "Yeah, come. I'm working from home." There was no hold up anywhere. I'm like, gee, is everybody working from home
Friday
on
there
Friday?
was supposed to be a snowstorm.
So
Right. So
everybody just
normally Friday, yes, it's light on the road, but then when there's an announcement of a
uh,
snowstorm, forget it. Nobody's.
working from home today, working
Yeah,
from bed today.
nobody's taking that risk.
Oh, that's crazy.
But
Where's all
but yeah,
David?
it's all good.
It's
At
all
least you
good.
know CFI is doing some work.
Oh yeah. Those guys they be finding. Is it what do you call them? Canada.
Loblaws
Yeah, the
Superstore.
Loblaws
Yeah, yeah,
Superstore.
yeah. Real
Like
Canadian Superstore.
at least they're finding Gillen Weston, man. He's
He's
the
looking.
one that's enjoying all the money
Yeah, but
that
don't they
is
have more of a what's it called? Franchise approach?
no frills and independent, I believe,
Yeah,
has.
but Real
Uh,
Canadian Superstore
Real
is.
Canadian superstores, I don't think so, but
Hmm.
it might be. It might be. It might be.
They probably have a blend, like a hybrid.
They have a
Yeah.
blend of hybrid like that allows, but everything
Yeah.
still is love loss produce.
Okay.
Still
Yeah,
is
$10,000 fine. That's
people will just send it up together and get an
it's
right.
for him. It's a
Is that like
rounding error.
spend his coffee bill is $10,000.
But yeah, so a Loblaw. Oh, this is a Loblaw owned superstore. So this one is owned by
Oh,
Loblaw. In Toronto was fined $10,000 by the CFIA for deceptively promoting an imported
Shout out
product.
to whoever tipped the CFI for that. Man.
Apparently, there was no tip.
There was no tip.
Yeah, so this is part of a, like, they've been doing a big crackdown
So
on.
they just send their agents.
Yeah.
Hey.
So nobody called, nobody reported. It was not. It was not for any specific product. It was because they had the maple leaf, product of Canada
They be doing that thing
set up
crazy.
in front of products, multiple
They
products
be
that are
doing
not
that
made in
thing
Canada or
crazy.
products of Canada. So
They'll say, "Oh, packaged in Canada," but every single thing about that package was not in Canada.
yeah. So what they're trying to capitalize, corporate greed, right? They're trying to capitalize on the high level of patriotism in Canada these days. But it's so wild. Like, at, all it takes is to put a maple leaf in front
I
of
buy
something,
Canada,
and
man. I buy Canada.
guy, you only buy Canadian
No,
almond milk or whatever.
literally, let me tell you. Actually, I've switched. I'm back to whole milk, 3% lactose-free milk. Lactose. It's actually sweet. It's actually.
I told you, like, those almond milk.
No, the almond milk was when I was struggling with like high lactose like intolerance, but I went back. I used to do lactose-free milk.
Yeah,
It still like upsets my like. I still have like
a reaction to
a
it.
reaction to it that like I feel like I want to throw up sometimes if I take a lot of. But man, like 3% milk is sweet.
3% milk.
It's
That's where it
It's
is.
sweet.
Yeah.
Like
When I go to Starbucks, I'm like, make that matcha with 3% milk, please.
I see. What got me was because I'm on the no sugar stuff, so
Yeah.
my almond milk is sugar free. And anytime I take it,
It's just like, this is punishment.
This is water. This is water. I try to
Punishment.
get no sugar free vanilla almond milk, and I don't take oat milk again because oat milk is high carbs.
Yeah.
So I just do the almond, and then I'm like, what? Someone was like, I think the new food diagram can say eat whole food. I see whole milk there. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, they're also doubling the amount of vitamin D.
and whole milk has some really rich, creamy. Like I just went to a 3% straight. I didn't want to check. I just did lactose free 3%. Now sometimes when I'm thirsty, I don't want to take Coke or anything. I just I want my own.
I drink a glass of milk every night before bed. My grandchild.
You and your child is literally like this.
Yeah. As she's drinking hers, I'm drinking mine.
Man, I don't know. Like when Gemini was telling me to switch to this low sugar diet, it put a lot of almond milk in front of me. But I'm slowly ramping up. I'm slowly ramping up my no sugar diet. I think I've done it for like 4 months. I feel like I'm as lean can be. I need to start bulking up. My mom called me the other day, like, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Why is your head big? Why is everything small?
Lost question.
There's no sugar.
There's no sugar.
I have like
carbohydrates.
I have abs, man. That's all it states.
That's
But
all,
yeah,
bro.
but yeah, like
No.
the maple stuff. Like if you go to
Yeah.
food basics, you go to all of these stores. They find a way to put Canada in such a way they don't say it's Canada.
Yeah, it's product of Canada, packaged in Canada, made in Canada. Like, just
sometimes I feel like they also make mistakes on purpose. They will just put Canada flag on all the numbers there,
Yeah.
$1, Canada, and then just shuffle everything there.
bruh, people are just trying to push products, man. They're just trying to sell something.
Shout out to the data scientists and sales people. 10,000 is a small fine. And
Yeah,
also
it is a small fine.
if it's not like a whistleblower and you have to do work, like
You need to recoup the money for the work you did. Yeah.
You know, like when you've gone to scan all the various stores and you finally find one, that one should pay for all
the
stores.
work.
Like,
Yeah,
you don't see, like it's like a parking ticket, man. You want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So if somebody does not do it again.
So someone 10,000 is like, is this all we do after like 3 years of trying to do all of this?
Yeah. Well, anyway, CBC too be doing investigations. CBC did an investigation and found a Sobeys store that was also mislabeling imported raw almonds. Yeah. So just like, why? Anyway,
It's always either Loblaws, Sobeys, or Walmart. Like those are the three people that run our.
what's the so Loblaws obviously has No Frills, Independent,
Yeah.
Superstore. No Sobeys has
Sobeys has
Freshco.
Freshco. It also has
what's the other one?
no, yes, Sobeys,
Foodland?
Freshco. No, Farmboy.
No,
I think-
Foodland.
Foodland, yeah, but
Yeah,
I think
Food-
they
Did you
have
have
also
Farmboy?
owned they
Interesting.
also own
I
Farmboy.
don't know.
And then there's Metro.
Yeah, there's the Metro one.
Metro is Food Basics.
Oh yeah, Metro.
Metro, and some other like
I don't know
West
why Canada is like this. Like everybody will have like three tiers. Like you have Rogers, you have
fight.
Fido, you have now Shaw. I'm like, and then at some point they had video.
You have to
Like,
capture the whole spectrum and just
bruh,
light it there. Like they all have the product,
yeah,
but they have to give low quality products to you. The same cost that it takes to put the high quality there, they will just spread it across.
spread it
At some
across.
point now, Loblaws will start owning food banks. That's how it's going to be. You
It's
want
a
to donate to
real
Loblaws?
Canadian food bank.
Literally. I
Bro,
won't be surprised. They would have the
that's
whole food
next
chain
level, man. Yeah,
because these people want to capture every single thing. They want to
every
own
single
everything.
dollar to be captured is. All right, let's talk about Doug Ford. So, like I said, if you're interested in being a professional basket weaver, Ontario is not the province for you. Doug Ford said, stop taking basket weaving courses in university.
Yeah.
Right, so they're shifting the OSAP program by the fall of 2026. So they're going to shift the grant to loan ratio to a maximum of 25% grant and
They're
75%
swapping
loan.
it.
They're essentially swapping the
It
order.
was 75% grant, 25%.
Actually, back in the day, it went up to as high as 85% grants and
Oh.
15% loan. So now
Yeah.
they're swapping it. So essentially, for me, the questions, the way I process this, well, what's the purpose of OSAP? Is to help Ontario
Yeah, I guess
students
education.
get post-secondary education. Well, the next question, well, is it currently structured to achieve any kind of return on investment for the government? Not necessarily. Like it's been clear that's not the government's strong suit. They're not
Government
positioned
just has
to
to give money, not have to collect it properly. Or
exactly.
they'll
They
collect it,
buy
not how to
high, they
use
sell
it.
low. That's their philosophy, right? So, um, sounds like Doug Ford went to take an economics class and is like, well, how can we switch this around to achieve a return on investment? It's like, maybe if the bulk of it is a loan, and then that way they have to pay us back, then so yes, there's now ROI, but it's in the worst possible way because now you're setting up Ontario students to finish
And
post-secondary
keep paying for
education, and you're
loans.
already negative 20 grand.
Negative,
Like
negative.
it's not a good way to start your career. So um,
Yeah, like, and also too, like, it's coming at the worst time.
yes, people are
It's,
struggling, man.
it's struggling, but the job market
Yeah,
is oblivious. Like, there's no, like, back in the days, you could go do a four-year degree, maybe take the 75%
yeah,
loan,
yeah,
and you still pay it off in 4 years,
yeah, and you'll be fine.
and you'll be fine. Now, like, to get a job that will pay you for, okay, I'm not taking basket weaving. What course am I taking that would give me a job and
That
that
will.
will pay me, and AI cannot take over that job, or like I can.
And he also just took out the tuition freeze, right? So tuitions are
So
also
universities are going
like
to just be hiking
so,
their fees.
so we're gonna run into the same issue that they have down south, where you finish university, you're deep in debt, and you're just barely making ends meet, and then that's how you start off your career paying, not paying, but like you're now living paycheck to paycheck.
Mm.
So is there a better way to structure this?
There's probably not, like, personally, I think providing another opportunity. Universities, I have a hot take. Probably know that the end is at
Yeah,
their
like
writing is on
the
the
writing
wall.
has been on the wall
Like,
for a minute.
universities are about to go like all the way. If you're not one of the top, like every other university and college that's just doing theoretical stuff, probably on the decline, probably
Yep.
going out very soon. You probably can do all of the things online. AI can even teach you courses, and so on and so forth. So better way to structure this is encourage people to have, like, create all these different education streams for people to go get jobs that are high paying, low cost, not giving them 75% loan at a high
Yeah, high interest
institution,
rate. So I mean,
like trade schools, not colleges that be doing
yeah, yeah,
theoretical now. I'm talking about hardcore trade schools. You want to build homes.
yep,
Where are the home building schools?
bro. That's a good question.
You want to build railways. Where are the railway building schools? Like, why are we hiring railway builders from
Yeah,
France?
you
From
want to
talking
build
about bike and
submarines and
where are all of these
fighter
things that
jets and
these are
whatnot. Yeah,
things that are needed in this 2026, 2027, 2028 world. Like, basket weaving is the least of your worries here, man. Like,
I'm gonna
it's
play
probably
devil's advocate though. Um, and I'm not the biggest Doc Ford fan, but when you pay for something, you you see more of the value of what you're paying for, and you're almost incentivized. You're forced to, okay, now if I'm paying for that, I need to work harder. I need to do this. I need to work smarter. I need to. So there's that aspect to it. There's also the aspect, obviously he should not have said the whole basket weaving thing, but he should have spoken like an actual politician and a leader and talk about how people should take courses that will eventually contribute to the Ontario
I
economy.
think
Like,
so.
position the message in that way and have people be like, okay, if I'm going to be paying 75% of my tuition, I better take something that I'll end up with a decent
If I'm
job.
going to be borrowing to pay for this,
Exactly,
it's like
right?
trying
So,
to borrow to buy a house, but in the sense that you borrow to buy a house and you start destroying the house systematically
bro.
versus building up a house.
Yeah, or you borrow to invest and then you invest in the basket of useless stocks.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, he should probably have understood that literally 2 weeks ago you removed the tuition freeze, and now you're trying to like agitate people. Like, fully go and sit down with Daniel Smith and understand how to communicate some of these things. But also, both of them are talking about things that are very, very edgy,
Yeah.
and they're
They're much needed though.
I don't know if they're much needed in some sense. Like, they don't have good oppositions.
Our higher education strategy in Ontario, in Canada, really across the country, it's not really working. Like, to your point, universities are not like,
Universities are actually,
what are they doing? Like, we need to ask more of universities, like
the
beyond.
fact that University of Toronto was the inventor of AI as we know it today, but we don't have any Canadian like folks that have also benefited from the boom tells me what I need to know. That
It's such a
there,
broken system.
you have value, but you don't know how to market the value, don't
Yeah.
know how to use the value, don't
Yeah.
know how to transfer that value.
There's a lot to learn. I saw a post about somebody who reached out to 5 VCs, 3 Canadian, 2 US. Within the weekend, the two US
Yeah.
VCs have responded to him.
Even weekend is even too long for you.
Nothing, zero, nothing from the Canadian VCs. It's like, so what are we doing? Like,
we're taking our time.
there's a lot of introspection Canada really has to do. And to my point before, like, that's where Mark Carney has to really, that's the message he has to be parading. He doesn't need to go to Davos. He doesn't need to go to anywhere to talk to anybody.
He's
He should talk to,
He's
he should talk to Canadians about the tough decisions we need to make as a country.
We need to make tough decisions, don't get me wrong. The only issue with this decision is not a tough decision. This is just a decision to cover an institution
A
or an
broken
industry
system.
that is, first of all, we're not making money because we're giving grants to people to go to university, and the government knows the university is just collecting that money. Whatever we say is the grant, university will just put the
They will
price
set
there,
the price
and
there.
then everybody will go and collect grants, and then
Yeah.
come and do the price for random courses that
All theory, they come out with, paper and, okay, well, now you have a bachelor's in social sciences. What's the specialty? Nothing, just general social sciences. Okay, so what are you going to do? Like, oh, maybe, I don't know, like, go to teaching school or become a teacher. I'm like, okay.
I actually wanted to become a teacher with my math degree. Low key. I was going to be a teacher before I.
Oh, are you going to teach math and physics?
Yeah, just math. I wanted to teach. I actually love teaching. I love teaching, and I wanted to be a high school teacher specifically, and teach like literally my whole life would have been different if I had not. I would have been one. No, I spent a lot of time tutoring and teaching and trying to get
Bruh.
into.
Teachers are doing God's work, fam. But here's the thing: they spend way too much time dealing with non-teaching.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I was saying. And also the bureaucracy to become a teacher was so.
that's
Like,
another.
I was like,
it's like,
do I have to go back to school again? Yeah, I ain't doing that anymore. I'm not going to do any education school or anything.
yeah, and then your compensation is literally tied to you continuing education. Like, as a teacher, like there's no rest for the wicked there in that industry. I don't know. There's so many things about our education that could be
And then
totally
you now have the
revamped.
professors that are tenured that also take a lot
Bruh.
of the money and do no research.
Zero
Literally,
research.
Zero research. All I'm here for is the university pay.
I'm tenured. I cannot be fired.
Cannot
My
be
salary is
fired.
set. Like, they're chilling.
But yeah, McCartney might have some things to say. When all these university things blow up, which I hope it blows up in the best way, not in the craziest way, I think there will be a lot of like self-reflection that we have to do as to what
what higher ed looks like in Canada.
what higher ed looks
Yeah.
like in Canada. Maybe
I mean,
different.
even all the way down to high school, like we can start revamping all of those things. Like, in fact, I'll take it all the way down to kindergarten. Like, Canadian kids spend too much time playing and dancing
That is
in
the
the first few
point.
years of their life.
No, that like in China,
Please.
they play for like 6 years.
No,
And they go
what's have you
hardcore.
seen Chinese people like 3 years old? The guy is playing Mozart's music on the keyboard. I'm like, his bro, children's brains are like they are ridiculously smart, and
Yeah.
we just wasted just having them do palm prints and footprints
It's like
in the
they're trying
classroom.
to tell you that the mama is
And like, guy, they need to be doing calculus from kindergarten, please.
they be doing they can start building AI models from
Yeah, why not?
kids.
They should start whatever it is. They need to be using that brain of theirs a bit more in kindergarten.
Yeah,
But um,
we do need to do something about education in general.
talking about kindergarten, Smart Carney.
There's no way Makani and kindergarten going. Yo, the boy Makani be doing work somewhere. He be doing work.
Let me finish reading this story,
He be
please.
doing work.
McCartney unveiled Canada's first defense industrial strategy. How do we strengthen our strategic autonomy?
Strategy.
How can you put in so many buzzwords in this announcement?
No, strategic autonomy.
Let me finish. The build partner buy strategy prioritizes Canadian suppliers, targeting 70% of federal defense contracts for domestic firms within a decade, 10 years, to figure out how to give Canadian suppliers work. Okay, let's continue.
Is a plan.
Backed by over $500 billion in investment. The announcement follows warning from the US to the EU against protectionist by European defense policies. Whatever. So build partner buy. We'll build in Canada. If we cannot build in Canada, we'll partner with a friendly country. If we cannot partner with a friendly country, then we'll buy the finished product from whoever produces it. Here's my problem with Marcani. Buzzwords. It's like, these people that all they know is all these acronyms: build, partner, BPB. How do we aspire to acquire what we desire?
When you're giving your report as an analyst, like you hire one of these like big four,
big four firms
to come and do some analytical work.
When I read this whole story, my first question was: so all this fancy talk, what exactly are we building, partnering, and buying? And why? Defense. That's it. They're just very broad strokes. Defense. Also, why do we not already know what we can build and not build?
Because see, it goes back to the education.
Why do we not already know what we can partner and not? Like, why wasn't the announcement we're going to build XYZ, and because of our limitations in ABC, we're going to partner with these countries to get ABC, and because of this, we're going to buy these. Like, that's somebody who is working. This guy is talking. All he's doing is talk. He's just moving things around. He's like, we're going to do workforce adjustments. We left a bunch of people across all these departments. But yeah, DND is just going to absorb like 70% of them anyway. Like, we're just
that's the one I actually don't understand. But like, again, let's leave it at that. But what he's saying, let me tell you how talk is
Tell me.
What he's saying is basically saying they've allocated funds for building. They've allocated funds to partner. They've also allocated funds to buy defense.
So you're now his interpreter, because all he said
I'm
is
just
our
telling
build
you,
partner buy strategy.
One thing with
prioritizes Canadian suppliers, targeting 70% of defense contracts for domestic firms within 10 years.
So basically, all the contracts coming out of our defense, national defense, is going to be Canadian built, at least
all of them,
a huge portion of them.
Well, he said 70%.
A huge portion.
In 10 years
is huge.
No, it's going to take him 10 years to get there.
No, but hey, if we put out the word, people will start coming to Canada to start to spin up jobs, spin up offices, spin up corporations to tap into that 10-year budget.
Before I go into why I don't believe any of that, let me tell you other ways Mark Carney has been pushing paper around. He announced that the Canadian Coast Guard was leaving the Department of Fisheries and Oceans and going to DND. And then the aviation sector at Transport Canada also moved over to DND. Now, all of a sudden, our NATO targets, our defense spend, it's all of a sudden looking promising. That guy is just shuffling.
Think about it. That's how an economist looks at it. Like, it's all about packaging somewhat. You want defense? Hey, our guys are guarding fishes. Instead of guarding fishes, how about we guard the Coast Guard?
Let's relabel it as defense spending. Okay.
But like,
and
the biggest question mark is like, so this entire time, you guys were not really like building.
No.
right?
Canada has not built nothing.
So in 10 years, that's not realistic. In 10 years, you now train people, you now build,
No,
and it will be delivered on time.
10
With the
years,
advancement in
nobody's going to
technology.
get trained in this. Don't forget about the training. In 10 years, what's going to happen? Corporations will come internationally and set up.
Oh, talking about corporations, many Canadian OEMs in defense are, guess what? Subsidiaries of US companies.
Which is fine, which is fine for now. But if they are going to be
So how are you
present,
going to be creating more jobs?
no, because if you come to Canada, you're not going to be using US workforce. You're going to have to use Canadian workforce.
So what's the point of like workforce adjustment if you're going to like?
Because if you move your subsidiary to Canada and you want to accept those Canadian contracts because you're a Canadian corporation, even though you're a subsidiary of an international corporation, which is fine, you would have to show that you're hiring Canadian workers, you're training Canadian workers. Over time, people will leave that subsidiary, start their own defense company, and next thing
Trickle down economics.
no, this is trickle down labor force. Trickle down labor force.
Bruh.
But
There's a very big question mark kind of here because now he's now sounding like what, Trump? He's now being like, oh, Canada first. I'm like, okay, that sounds very much
Canada
like
has
Donald
always been
Trump.
Canada first with our elbows up strategy.
Elbows
Like,
up,
this
Canada
will
first.
be
So
Canada
why
first.
then demonize the people that are doing US first and EU
We
first
don't
and all?
I don't demonize. I'm just
You're not
saying,
gonna take their playbook and start running with it.
we're Canada first, partner second, versus
By
Canada's first and
third.
only. Right?
See,
Like we're Canada's first, but we also have partnerships.
but it's gonna take us 10 years to be Canada first, by the way. But
Which is fine.
is it?
But we are putting out the word that if you want to get a huge chunk of defense contract money, come and build in Canada versus try to get the money internationally and then sell us at a ridiculous. Like I think it makes sense. We still it's still going to be foreign companies that will come and build in Canada.
So here's my issue is not that we are spent like we have to spend money. We need to defend the country. Why is his strategy like a like it's like the pre-strategy? Like he should know what we can build, what we can partner, and what we can buy, and he should be announcing that as his strategy. Like, hey, we're gonna defend our Arctic. How we're gonna buy these icebreakers, blah blah blah, because we cannot make them in Canada.
Yeah.
But to defend our border crossings or whatever, we already have capabilities in Canada. We're gonna build these drones, these aircrafts, whatnot in Montreal by leveraging contracts with XYZ company. And then for whatever the one is left, we're going to buy from Norway, buy from this, buy from that. Like the strategy should be concrete as opposed to build, partner, buy.
The only thing
We're
that
going
I
to build
really
in
think he's
Canada
trying to
within 10
avoid-
years, 70% of our.
I think what he's trying to avoid is name companies and tie the funds to those
You
companies.
don't name
He
them.
wants-
Just tell us what you want to
He
do.
wants those industries to bid lower price. Like, come and tell me what he can do. Come and at what cost will you do? So we have the fund. It's strategy by communicating the people. There are people that read all these press releases and start thinking, okay, you know what? Let's create a division in our company for Canadian defense.
But here's the thing, once again, it goes back to the point I made like 2 podcasts ago. Now he has announced it. Now all that everybody else is hearing is, oh, okay, Kanye is trying to be protectionist. He's trying to be Canada
He's
first.
trying to be Canada first.
And then
partner
what has he
second.
done? He has now attracted, okay, the US is going to look at Canada and be like, so you guys are trying to avoid US defense contractors,
They
eh?
come and do
20% tariff. EU would be like, well, like we also want to sell our things. Okay, well, if you're not going to buy them, then we're going to have to put a tariff on your stuff. Like, now we've just attracted unnecessary attention as opposed to having a very clear, concise plan. It's like EU, US, Norway, we're going to buy these things from you. Commitment, $500 billion we're going to be spending with you. Leave it at that. Everybody's happy.
No, but he wants people to come to Canada.
Yeah,
and build.
there are other
How
ways
do
to
you
do that.
communicate? You have to communicate it in such a way. Please come here. You don't have to beg.
Yeah.
You have to say there's money.
There's money on the
You know,
table.
like all these contractors, once they hear there's money, all these companies that were doing like
and they will
airplane
come.
for drones and like hobby drones, you start to build drones for defense.
They will come. What you will get is the biggest companies abroad. They will come set up shop, do some work here, training, maybe hire a bunch of HR people here, and they still manufacture it somewhere else. Ship it back to Canada.
That's the one I'm worried about.
They
I
will
don't
find
want
a
them to
loophole. There's no
create-
way people are gonna come here and hire like tens of thousands of people.
Not necessarily, you don't have to hire tens of thousands of people, but at least have a base to manufacture certain stuff here to get the funding. There should be restrictions on that funding. Don't just come and do basket weaving employment and
Bruh.
then next thing.
You cannot, beggars cannot be choosers. If you want to come and make submarines here, by the time they
You don't
structure,
have to.
by the time they look at their finances and they're like, hey, the only way this makes sense is if we structure it this way. If it doesn't look pretty like what you wanted, you're not going to be like, no, 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 we're not investing, we're not giving you the money. Because you need those submarines or you need those icebreakers. Like, you're going to eventually cave after all the. That's my big issue. After all, you come, you pound your chest, you build,
No,
partner,
but
buy.
we do have steel. We do have like critical minerals. We have all of these things to help build the components. So we can use that as a leverage. You're not increasing your cost. We'll give you low, like we're not even you don't even need to give you any low discount. Come here, you have access to it. You don't have to be shipping all of these critical minerals out there. We also have some, like US is also buying some of our what do you call those armored vehicles?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
they also buy like armored vehicles that are produced
Global
in.
trade should happen. Like, it should be happen. But anyway,
Be
But
one.
then, how could, because like Canada is a welfare state, right?
Yeah, I like how you say
So-
Canada is a welfare state. Like,
But
Canada
then,
is low-key socialist now.
but then, if you're putting all the money into like defense,
yeah,
how can you be a welfare state? Like it's like
we need. If you put all the money, like most of the money is going to be in defense because US is backing out of a lot of
Because
things.
I mean, we don't have the U.S. Big Brother setup anymore, so we have to actually protect our
But also too, if we
country.
push defense, a lot of industrialization can happen when you're building out your defense industry, right? If you think about even in the world wars, when that's when the Ford plants were built, they were converting all this industry. Like,
Yeah.
I really hope that this funding is helping to create manufacturing here because all of those increase in defense manufacturing helps create industrialization for other industries. Think about like finished products on the metal, steel, critical minerals. There are a lot of things that will still come out because once you've created a whole like pipeline or what do you call those things in
Supply chain.
supply chain around defense, you can use it for other things. Once you've satisfied
Let
your
me
quota.
let me give Marcani credit for having a unified strategy. His immigration minister has recently expanded their express entry program with new categories for skilled
Yes.
workers, including aircraft mechanics, skilled military recruits, pilots,
Wait, skilled military
researchers.
recruits is what I don't understand about that one.
I do have a problem about it, but I'm just pointing out that he has a cohesive strategy across immigration, defense, and
We're meeting our NATO targets by importing.
I'm like, bro, military recruiting through immigration sounds like a bad idea.
That one sounds like a
I'm
bad
like,
idea. That one I'm with you. I'm with you. That one sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
You can't defend Canada with imported.
it will become like an idea.
How would they become?
It
Are
will be
they-
like express entry, right?
Yeah, the express
They come-
entry.
so you have PR card holders defending citizens. Come on, even me as a PR card, I'm not gonna defend this country.
Hey, bro, I'm just reading the news. I tried to give Marcani credit, but it doesn't.
Military recruits, we need to go and check.
Guess we cannot give
Let's
this
go
guy.
and check. I don't mind the aircraft specialists. Maybe like trying to get like some training military wise, maybe, or have like people that specialize in recruiting and engaging our military force. Okay, I see that, but I don't know, man. First of all, you remove the healthcare from the temporary residents. You whip them all around. All right, go and fight in the Arctic. Come on, that's like slave trade all over here.
Bro, next level.
But anyways, shout out to Makani. Maybe he's one of those buzzwords that
Man, buzzword galore. That's whenever I hear him talk, that's all. I'm just like,
see,
man.
it's good to talk. You know what? That's what Pierre did when he was against Trudeau. Talking works. Literally, it motivates. It gets people
I don't
riled
have
up.
an issue with talking, but Marcani's talking specifically. It's like it's just a galore of buzzwords. Just
you
like
can't work in all of these. Like,
3-step policy,
you can't work in all
3-step
this
this,
big four
5-step that,
analysts. You can't
7-step
work with
this.
these big analysts because they come and give
Like,
you
just
reports of 10 different
Use
things.
simple grammar. Tell us what exactly are you doing? Like that's all we ask him to do. Like all this, Anyway,
But yeah.
all of that we still need to figure out Kuzma and
Yeah, Kuzma is the one I'm pretty sure is going to be gone. We need to figure it. Everybody's going to feel the pain. The only thing I'll say about Kuzma, the fact that Trump is thinking about like coming out of Kuzma and leaving everybody in free fall is going to affect him and it's going to affect us.
It's gonna affect everybody.
Let me tell you, it's affecting. It's not just going to be Canada crying. US will be crying. It's right now. All their most of the US um whatever they call their House of what
Which one?
their
The
house, yeah,
oh,
like
like the
the House and the Senators. They are
yeah,
fighting
yeah.
against the executive right. They're fighting against the executive The legislative arm is fighting against this because it's so
Yeah, it's gonna
intertwined.
be a
It's so
um,
intertwined.
very big ripple effect. But
But the fact
here's
that Kanye is talking about it ahead of time is getting the
the
momentum.
real question is who will have the better negotiation
It
skills?
doesn't matter who has it better. It's who is okay bluffing that I'm out of here.
What?
Because the fact that Kanye is like, well, the small guys, don't get me wrong, but because he's been talking so much, he's been inspiring so much. We're already affect. Imagine a small country, economic wise, is affecting US tourism,
So yes, Canadian tourism to the US is down.
and it's affecting them, affecting US buying of produce. Their alcohol sales are down. Their food sales are down. Their like, it's going to.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be a shared impact. There's a reason why they came to the table in the first place to build what was NAFTA and USMCA, Kuzma, all these things. They know that there is a benefit to it. I, I, all I've heard is talk. That's all I'm saying.
But we're talking ahead of time,
Okay,
and we're gaining momentum.
let's keep talking. Let's keep
We're gaining
getting momentum.
momentum.
Let's hope for the best because that
We're
seems to be
getting.
the strategy.
See, hope is a strategy. Ask everyone that voted in '08 in the US. Hope is a strategy. What is it? What was that slogan that Obama used?
Yes, we can.
Yes we can. Canada, yes we can. How about that? Yes we can.
Yeah, I had a feeling Mark was pulling an Obama playbook with all these speeches, but
But
he's not pulling it off properly. But a lot of talk, a lot of talk.
no, this is good. This is good. This is good. But anyways, yeah, I'll go do some basket weaving after this podcast. How
Yeah,
about
I'm
that?
gonna have to weave some baskets and then send them to Doc Ford to
Send them to
show
Doug
him what
Ford,
the art of
yeah.
the possible is. Cause what, like you weave some good baskets, it ends up in a museum.
The
You know, like
AI cannot weave baskets.
AI can. I mean, robots probably can, but
Yeah, robots can probably actually.
yeah, AI. So AI is kind of like the soul, the spirit. Once it's
Once he has a
once it
heart,
has the hands and the legs, it will.
maybe we take AI to our next Winter Olympics. How about that for our hockey Canada?
Yeah, well, Canada, the only way we are winning gold is through double touch in the curl. But anyway, at least we got some
We
gold
got some
medals.
gold medals, man. Anyways, this was good. This
Yeah,
was
this
good.
was good. Let's try not to keep our audience up late.
All
So
right,
I think
y'all.
we've been,
Be here for like an hour 20.
yeah. So
Have a good week, y'all. We'll see you next week.
see you next week. We'll see you. Well, I'm sure there'll be enough things to talk about next week. Canada has been a bit more exciting these days. So
All right.
yeah.
Peace.